Hi everyone, Anthony P. Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for another Let's Argue, where I go online, I take your hot takes, your unpopular opinions, your tough questions, I respond to the best ones, but we went into this one with a specific question in mind. I wanted to know, any artist, any era, any genre, what in your opinion is the hardest diss in music of all time? You gave some pretty good, interesting, and thoughtful responses. Let's go over them. Black Midi, Dead Sheeran, where they say, Ed Sheeran sucks, you sell out ginger prick. Your music is doo-doo. You need me, man. We don't need you, Britney bitch. Haha, my name's Ed Sheeran. Shout out to Black Midi for this one. I mean, the indie and underground rock world is really treacherous and difficult to navigate. And sadly, because so many bands in that world aren't swimming in cash in the way Ed Sheeran is, there's a lot of fear and I think hesitation on many artists' part, understandably so, to, really tell it like it is and go at another artist and stir a little controversy. But Black Midi decided to risk it all. They didn't pull any punches. And I think it says something that Ed, to my knowledge, has not responded. There's been no Sheeran response, probably because he thinks Black Midi had a point. I think Rap Devil is going to age like fine wine and people are going to look back at who truly won the beef. MGK simply had better bars than the Rap God versus Rap Devil thing. Only a future hip-hop and now pop-punk to legend could come up with such a comparison, no contest. I mean, I guess we'll respond anyway since you seem to put some heart into it, I guess. Look, if you go back into my video catalog and see my original reaction to Rap Devil, it wasn't overtly negative. Like, Rap Devil as a diss track generally is pretty decent. MGK win at Eminem for like 4 fucking minutes. He did have some funny and, clever observations and wordplay here and there. But outside of that, I don't know, while the diss isn't bad, a lot of what MGK was operating off of on that track was sort of low-hanging fruit and stuff that rap fans and music fans generally already have kind of agreed and decided makes Eminem corny in the current era. The track is fine, and MGK didn't hold back all that much, but, there were 2 disses, and the Eminem diss bested the MGK diss. Eminem went at it with more passion, more energy, and frankly more ammunition. Even though Rap Devil, I think, as a diss track, again, generally is fine, when your track gets bested by the other guy's track, it, by virtue of losing, is going to be viewed by most people as shit. It's a diss track. Nobody's going to look at it in a vacuum and just objectively review it in isolation just as a song in and of itself. All right, we had a ton of tweets from JPEG Mafia and others as well, just pointing at Tupac's Hit 'Em Up, which I don't disagree with this being one of the hardest disses of all time. For a very specific reason. I think Tupac, if we look at this track lyrically, isn't pulling some kind of grand, fantastic, acrobatic wordplay or some shit like that, but the seething fucking anger that he has on his verse in the opening of that song is so intense that even as a listener, just hearing it by yourself and knowing that it's just a man's voice on a speaker. It's just a man's voice on a speaker. It does cause your blood pressure to go up because of how angry and in your face it is. It's that anger that makes you feel everything that he's saying and just makes you feel like, fuck, he's tearing him a fucking part. And even though a diss track is obviously very much about what you say about the other person, Hit 'Em Up serves as a reminder of just how much the energy and passion you put into it matters too. J. Cole had one of the hardest disses with 1985, and he didn't even have to be disrespectful about it. That's actually a good observation. I've always liked 1985, but yeah, I mean, for a diss track, J. Cole doesn't get super disrespectful about it. I mean, 1985, I think you could say, is one of the smartest diss tracks in that it's more of like a series of observations of someone's behavior and actions, and, you know, kind of comparing their past to their present and drawing lines of hypocrisy based on that, and a lot of other things too. I mean, look, I agree with you. I think it is one of the best diss tracks ever. I think the way that you frame it here is great. You know, it's not like you're a bitch, you're this, you're that, and you just kind of fire back with the same shit. No, it's like literally, yeah, you kind of have a point there. Shout out to Corday though for his amazing response. LP on Deep Space 9mm, he only needed one line to destroy Raucus. Signed to Raucus, I'd rather be fucked. What? That's got to be one of the nastiest and most disturbing I'd rather be's to ever make it in a song ever. John Lennon to Paul McCartney in How Do You Sleep is savage. Those freaks was right when they said you was dead. The only thing you did was yesterday, and since you've gone, you're just another day. You must have learned something in all those years. Yeah, and eventually he took it back.
And I should have, you know, kept my mouth shut. Not on the song. It could have been about anybody, you know.
But given how Paul recently, in a kind of casual conversation in an interview, threw John under the bus a little bit over the breakup, I don't think John shouldn't have taken it back. Shouldn't have taken that shit back. Billy Cobb with I Want to Kick Baby Yoda in the Ribs. Take his big black eyes, eat them with a side of fries. Yeah, this is a special track that aesthetically borrows pretty heavily from Weezer. And Billy really goes in on Baby Yoda on this one in a way that I don't think really anyone else has. I'm not exactly sure if Baby Yoda, being the fictional character that he is, you know, really feels too strongly about the diss. And in a lot of ways, this track is a self-diss, because it's like, man, it's just Baby Yoda. Why are you going so hard on Baby Yoda? Cannabis had one of the hardest disses on LL Cool J. Well, let me tell you something. You might got more cash than me, but you don't got the skills to eat a dude's ass like me. Yeah, I mean, you have a point, because, you know, since that time, it's been years. LL Cool J is yet to prove his ass-eating abilities. Lil B going in on Joe Budden in t-shirts and buttons is probably the funniest and hardest diss track I've ever seen. How do you come back from this? Like, some of these lines are fine. I love the, you know, him being underground and going back to underground line. I think that one is pretty great, frankly, and a, you know, funny observation of Joe. But with that being said, I think as far as like overall impact goes, and kind of cultural conversation, like, you know, how widespread the whole thing was, I gotta kind of give it to Lil B's Kevin Durant diss. Kevin Durant obviously like didn't approach Lil B on the court when he should have. Total coward. But Lil B is insane on that track, especially for that opening fuck Kevin Durant like opening line. It's absolutely insane. And dude, like, this whole feud and this diss put a curse on the guy. I mean, look, this Joe Budden track is fine, but like, did Lil B put a curse on Joe Budden? As far as I know, no. Like, Lil B cursed that man, which honestly at that moment was sort of like hip hop as a genre unlocking a new level of diss intensity, because to my knowledge, like, nobody since has dissed someone but also cursed them. I don't know many popular musicians who'd make a song today openly wishing a politician was assassinated. Honestly, I love it. I mean, shout out to one of the few shout outs I will give to Morrissey on this one. It is kind of true. I feel like there is overall a lack of songs across the board that, while they may be sort of political, they're not going at certain politicians specifically, maybe out of fear of, like, again, being too controversial, or, oh, it's going to be dated because that guy's going to, you know, be gone and da-da-da-da-da. Like, fuck that. Look back at, like, all of the punk from the 80s that was like, fuck Reagan, Reagan's an asshole, Reagan's a racist, Reagan's this, Reagan's that. That stuff is aged like fine fucking wine. So I don't know, if you feel so inclined, come on the mic and name who you think should fucking go to the fucking guillotine. Is this breaking TOS? Not only it's the hardest, but the one everyone and their grandma remembered all too well. Look, Taylor Swift, 10-minute version, All Too Well. I've sung that track's praises before. I'll do it again in this video without any hesitation, and say that that track, for the time that it lasts, is pure fucking savagery. I'll get older, but your lovers will stay the same age. Gross. Weird. Called that man out. Yes, queen. Look, if you love disses, you think you love disses, but you have not observed the lengthy and glorious takedown that is the 10-minute version of All Too Well, I don't know what to tell you. You're lying to yourself, because that is is a hard-ass fucking diss. That is the most thorough diss. Like, think of a rapper who could go at another single person with just like bars on bars on bars for 10 minutes straight. Calm Down by Busta Rhymes, where Eminem goes at me. I've already spoken about Mr. Nem's bars on this one, and obviously I came at him with a pretty hard YouTube diss, which is a legendary video on the internet, frankly. I have mouths to feed. I have 7 children. Like, obviously, as soon as Rap Devil came out, Eminem came right the fuck back and responded and just like tore MGK apart. Did I get an Eminem response? Did I get a response? No, I did not. No, I did not. Eminem saw my video, he pussied out, he turned his tail and ran, whereas MGK got bodied so hard he had to switch genres. So, I mean, who has more points on the board against Mr. Nem at this point? Is it MGK or is it me? It's moi. Rivers put his whole career on the line for this one. Don't be influenced by an office full of dorks. I won't mention any names, coughs, Pitchfork. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I think Rivers is a little corny for this one. Not that I'm holding any water for Pitchfork here or anything, but like, I feel like the point at which he went at them here was easy, was simple. No risk involved. That's the wrong number!
Hey, let's calm it down.
But yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts on some of the hardest diss tracks of all time. Thank you guys for watching. Love you. Let me know what you think. What are some of the hardest diss tracks of all time in your opinion? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Anthony Fantano over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Disses forever.